The towel hit the floor with a soft thud, but the silence that followed felt heavy, too heavy for such a small moment. My neighbor froze, her eyes wide with a kind of fear I had never seen before. Then she looked at me and whispered, "Don't tell anyone." It wasn't just the words. It was the way her voice trembled, like something much bigger than a drop towel was hiding underneath. In that quiet hallway, something shifted. And I didn't realize it yet, but that moment would change the way I saw kindness forever. Before we go any further, if stories like this touch your heart, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Welcome to Corner of Kind Choices, where small acts of kindness can change entire lives. I had been living in that apartment building for almost 2 years. It was one of those older places, creaky floors, thin walls, and neighbors you mostly nodded to but never really knew. My life was simple. Work, home, repeat. I kept to myself, and honestly, I preferred it that way. My neighbor, Emily, lived right across the hall. She was quiet, always polite, but distant. We exchanged the usual small talk: good morning, nice weather today, but nothing more. She always seemed like she was carrying something heavy, even when she smiled. That afternoon, I had just come back from the grocery store. My arms were full, and I was fumbling with my keys when I heard her door open. At the same moment, she stepped out, holding a basket of laundry. And that's when it happened: the towel slipped from her basket and landed on the floor. It should have been nothing. A simple accident. But she reacted like it was something else entirely. She gasped, quickly looking around the hallway, and then at me. Her face turned pale. She rushed to pick up the towel, clutching it tightly to her chest. "Don't tell anyone," she said. I blinked, confused. Tell anyone what? But she just shook her head and hurried back inside, closing the door behind her. I stood there for a long moment, the weight of that strange interaction sitting with me. It didn't make sense. Why would dropping a towel matter? Why would she be scared? For the rest of the evening, I couldn't shake it off. The next day, I saw her again. This time, she looked even more withdrawn. Her eyes avoided mine, and her usual polite smile was gone. Something wasn't right, and I could feel it. I hesitated. Part of me wanted to mind my own business, like I always did. But another part, the quieter, stronger part, told me to check on her. So I knocked on her door. There was no answer at first. I almost walked away, thinking maybe I was overstepping. But then I heard soft footsteps, and the door opened just a crack. "Yes," she said, her voice cautious. "Hey. I just wanted to make sure you're okay," I said. "About yesterday, you seemed upset." For a moment, she didn't say anything. Her eyes searched mine, like she was trying to decide if I could be trusted. Then she sighed and opened the door a little wider. "I'm sorry," she said. "That must have looked strange." "It's okay," I replied gently. "You don't have to explain if you don't want to." She hesitated again. And then, almost unexpectedly, she said, "Do you want to come in for a minute?" Her apartment was simple, like mine, but there was a certain stillness to it. Everything was neat, almost too neat. Like she was trying to keep everything under control. We sat down, and for a moment, neither of us spoke. Finally, she took a deep breath. "It's not really about the towel," she said. "It's just what it represents." I stayed quiet, letting her continue. "I used to live with someone," she said slowly. "Someone who made me feel like every small mistake was a big one. Dropping something, spilling something, it always turned into something worse." Her voice wavered, but she kept going. "I left that life a few months ago. Moved here to start over. But sometimes I still feel like I'm there. Like I'm being watched. Judged. Like one small thing could ruin everything. Suddenly, it all made sense. That wasn't fear of a towel. That was fear that hadn't left her yet. "You're safe here," I said softly. "No one's going to judge you for something like that." She gave a small, uncertain smile. "I know that, at least, I'm trying to." That day was the beginning of something I didn't expect: a friendship. It didn't happen all at once. It was small moments. Saying hello turned into short conversations. Short conversations turned into longer ones. Sometimes we'd have coffee together. Other times, we'd just sit in comfortable silence. And slowly, I saw her change. She started smiling more. Laughing, even. The fear in her eyes didn't disappear overnight, but it softened. One evening, a few weeks later, I knocked on her door again. This time, she opened it with a bright smile. "You won't believe what happened," she said. "What?" I asked. "I dropped a whole basket of laundry today," she said, laughing. "And you know what I did?" "What?" "I just picked it up." No panic. No fear. Just, picked it up. I smiled. "That's a big deal." "It is," she said. "And I think, it's because of you." I shook my head. "No, it's because of you. You did the hard part." She looked at me for a moment, her expression thoughtful. "Maybe," she said. "But kindness makes it easier." That stuck with me. Kindness makes it easier. I hadn't done anything extraordinary. I didn't save her. I didn't fix everything. All I did was knock on a door and listen. But sometimes, that's enough. Sometimes, kindness isn't about grand gestures. It's about being there when someone needs it. It's about noticing the small things, the quiet struggles that people don't always show. Over time, Emily became one of my closest friends. The hallway that once felt cold and quiet now felt warm and alive. We shared meals, stories, and laughter. And every now and then, we'd joke about the towel incident. But deep down, we both knew it was never really about the towel. It was about fear. And how kindness helped break it? So here's the thing I want you to take away from this story. You never really know what someone is going through. The person you pass in the hallway, the neighbor you barely talk to, the stranger you see every day, they might be carrying something heavy. And sometimes, all it takes is a small act of kindness to make that weight a little lighter. A simple "Are you okay?" A knock on the door. A moment of understanding. It might not seem like much to you. But to someone else, it could mean everything. Because kindness doesn't have to be loud or dramatic to be powerful. Sometimes, it's quiet. Gentle. Almost invisible. But it matters. So the next time you see someone drop their towel, whatever that may be, don't look away. Be the person who cares. Be the person who listens. Be the reason someone starts to feel safe again. And who knows? That small moment might just change a life, including your own.